we are discussing today about the chapter New Questions and Ideas. We are discussing about a time when people settled down in cities and villages. They started more than doing agriculture and hunting, gathering. They have various occupations at that point of time, and this is the point of time, this is the time when we are discussing about, that is later Vedic period, at the end of the later Vedic period. People started questioning about their existence. People started asking that why they need to follow all the religious norms that was fixed by the upper caste of the society. It was almost it was at the end of the 6th century BC when we find a religious unrest in northern India, northern part of India. What was the reason, the main reasons why people started questioning the custom, the religious custom that the society was following? What was the reason? If we see the reason, the first one we can say, it is rigid caste system. Caste system was so rigid that people cannot move from lower caste to upper caste. They have no other way out. They need to follow whatever was fixed for them by the means of their occupation, by the means of their social status, everything. Even if they started earning money, as though the traders and others, they started earning money, but their social position was fixed in a place where they cannot compete with the upper caste people. Rigid caste system was one of the major reasons that Hinduism at this point of time started losing faith from the common people. Next thing we can say that philosophy was not meant for the common people. The philosophical aspect, the language, the way they started describing Vedas, Upanishad, that was not for the common people to understand. They don't understand Sanskrit, many of them. So it was very tough for them to understand, and they, as a result, they are completely dependent on the upper caste Brahmin priest. Whatever they are giving the meaning, these common people, they have to accept it, which was not anymore accepted by the mass common people. Expensive ceremonies. Most of the time, whatever it is written in Vedas was translated wrong, and the upper caste people, they were asking for more expensive ceremonies to perform by the common people for any silly reason. Maybe something happened in their family, the Brahmin priest offer lots of yagnas and all, and they in search of money. The common people, they were no more interested paying money to get rid of their religious problem. Complex rituals and sacrifices. Most of the time, they don't understand the rituals they are performing. They don't understand the meaning of the ritual, why they need to perform it, that also they don't understand. And they are so tough to perform that many of them, they lose hope on their religion. Sacrifices means animal sacrifices was the most common thing at this point of time. Whenever whatever is happened, an animal they need to sacrifice. Now it was very tough for the farmers, for the agricultural people to sacrifice their animals, because the animals was the one who used to give them food by the means of milk. Maybe some animals they utilize in the agricultural field, so they were no more interested to sacrifice their animals, whatever they have with them. These are the major reasons why they started thinking of some other thing. Though it was not so easy, any new thought or new ideas was not so easy to be accepted by people, by the common people. There are lots of criticism when people started giving their new thought. But even then, the largest it was needed for the largest number of people. In their interest, they need a simple, short and intelligible way that they can achieve their salvation, that was needed for all common people. Religious teaching, as per them, they need to understand what the religious teachers are telling them. It was mostly in Sanskrit before, and the people, common people, was not allowed to learn Sanskrit. So their common language was very much different than the proper Sanskrit they have to, which the religious teachers or preachers they are teaching them. Naturally, most of them, they don't understand what is the meaning, what the religious gurus they want to tell them, they wanted to tell them. So they need a language of common people that they can understand and they can perform those rituals. Social economic factors also contributed at this point of time. Social factor contributed because people from the lower caste, they also started earning good money due to trade. This is the time when people started even exporting their item from one place to another. It is not only for their own daily need. They started making extras, and by that means they started getting some money. The kings, they gain more power. Kshatriyas, they gain more power in their hand. They gain more money in their hand. They gain lots of territories. But on the other side, Brahmins as a priest and the highest authority in the social pyramid, they controlled the complete social system, which were no more accepted by the Kshatriya kings. Kshatriyas, they gave donation, but it was not fixed by those kings, but it was sometimes fixed by the priest, because they we have heard that if you are not doing this, you will be cursed, or you will be getting this type of bad timing from God, and they have no other way out rather to follow it. So they also was not that happy with whatever it is continuing in the society. At this point of time, we have seen mainly two religious opinion came in the society, and people commonly they started accepting it. These two religions which popped up in this point of time, they also derive from main Hindu religion. If you see, if you follow the teaching of these two religious teachers, you will find that there are lots of similarity, and even the same thing in the Hindu religion also. In the Rig Vedic time, the sages they said, but as it was followed by some, it was just in the hand of some few people, those who started controlling the total social system, the situation was changed. The Kshatriya kings, now when they got a new idea, they no need to follow something that they are not interested to follow, naturally they started supporting those two religions, and that was the time when two religions named Buddhism and Jainism, these two religions took part. Buddha, he belonged to a small Gana. If you remember the previous chapter, we have discussed about Gana, when many kings they formed a Gana. Vajji was a Gana, I hope you remember. So he belonged to some place where the ideology, the ideas, everyone is ready to give their ideas. So it was a base of the democratic society, we can say. He was a Kshatriya, he was amongst the Kshatriyas. He brought up in a family, in a kingly family, where he was provided all the facilities. But when he came out to the common people one day, that was a story, that when one day he came out from his palace, he saw four people on the road. Someone who is dying, someone who is very poor and ill, someone who lost some people, and then he has seen a monk, a sage, who is above all the grief and pain. He started thinking that there must be some way that common people also can gain this peace of mind. They can also attain this type of salvation in their lifetime. So he went out one night, leaving his wife and one son named Rahul. He left his kingdom and then he started roaming from one place to another place in search of truth, in search of knowledge, in search of removing all the burdens that common people were suffering from all the common peoples they were suffering from. And fortunately, one night he attained that. We call it as nirvana. He called that moksha, and he started preaching some very close knit group whom he started preaching his own ideas and his own religion, which is known as Buddhism. And he passed in Kushinagara. Even before that also, he was continuously throughout his life, he travelled a lot throughout the northern India, and he preached his ideas and religion. Buddha taught that life is full of suffering and unhappiness. We all have desire. The main thing of Buddhism that destroy desire. If we as a human being, we don't expect anything, we can destroy our desire, our life will be very easy. So he had shown his disciples, he had shown us how to kill desire and how to be happy in the lifetime. We have a craving for something. Suppose you are visiting a shopping mall and you want some toy or some dress, that is your craving for the dress or for the toy. And when you are asked, your parents are telling you no, you are feeling very sad. This happened with all of us, that we desire something to have, and the moment we see that we are not getting that, we are very sad, we are very upset with that. Buddha said that anyway, we need to overcome this situation. If we can destroy our desire, we can achieve whatever we want. Also, at the same time, he believed the result of our action called karma. However you behave, you will get it back at the same way. If you respect someone, you will definitely get respect. But if you behave bad with someone, you will also receive a bad behavior. So whatever you are working, however you are working, your result of the work only you will get back. So that is the good deed. He said that we need to act properly as per the good gesture, using good gesture, that we can also have got it back returned, the good thing in our life, and we can be happy. Next we can say that he said that be kind to all. I told you that this was the time when complex rituals and sacrifices was almost was completely engrossed Hinduism, and everywhere animal sacrifice was hurting common people. So he spoke the language of common people, that be kind to all, be kind not only to human but to the animals also, even to the trees. Be kind to all animals, stop animal sacrificing, be kind to all human beings as well as all the animals. As a result, people started accepting whatever he is telling them. And then he said that he encouraged people to question. Whereas on the other hand, the Brahmins, most of the time, they don't have proper answer that why they are asking for this type of religious sacrifices and ceremonies and expensive ceremonies and all. They don't have any answer. They never had any answer that why it is as per the religion. Most of the time it was like it is given in the religious book and we need to follow it. But Buddha encouraged people to ask questions. Why we need it, how we need it, how it is going to help. And many stories are there based on this. One of them is like one lady was very upset with his son's death, and as Buddha was preaching in one of the on the place where the lady also resides, the lady came with her son's dead body and requested Buddha that please do something. I cannot live without my son, so please do something to make him alive. Buddha said, okay, I will do this. You just go to provided you are giving me one thing. Then the lady was naturally agreed to bring that. Buddha said, bring some mustard from a house where no one is dead. Death never entered in that house. Bring some mustard from that house. That lady, she searched everywhere in the city, nearby villages. Naturally, hardly it is not possible to find any house where death never entered. She came back with a refreshed mind, and then she joined Buddhist Sangha. This was the easy way, the preaching. You can see from this story that everywhere it is giving examples, what to do, how to do, giving examples. And now it comes from the mind itself. It is not that a guru is telling, so the disciples they need to follow it. It is that I accept it, so I follow it. The Four Noble Truths, what Buddha said as per Buddhism, that is, the world is full of suffering. The cause of suffering is desire. If the desire get rid of, all the sufferings can be removed, and they can be done if we follow the proper way, the proper path, that is called as Eightfold Path. Eightfold Path, that it has 8 points mainly that we need to follow. They are right view, right will, right speech, right action, right livelihood, right effort, right mindfulness, and right concentration. Take example of your student life. You have your exams to write. If you have right view, that is knowledge about what you want to write, what you want to do. The next, the right will, that yes, I need to get better marks, good marks in my exam. And then right speech and right action. For that, whatever you need to do, you are performing that, your right action. And then right livelihood, you are following the proper way. You are sleeping early, you are spending time for your studies, cutting down your time for your play, or you are not wasting your time. And then the right effort, that is pushing you towards the exam to get a good result. Right mindfulness, that means your memory. If you are following all these things, naturally you will, whatever you are memorizing, that will be in your memory. And right concentration while you are studying. If you are studying, you need to concentrate more, then only you can remember. Right memory will be there with you. So it is a complete eightfold path. Everywhere in your life, if you see, you can implement it. I have given one example, a very small example, that every student they need to follow. But at the same time, even if you are in the playground, even if you are maintaining a good relation with your friends, everywhere this eightfold path can be useful. You are talking to someone but you are not listening. This relation cannot work good. Your friends also want you to listen. Your teacher wants you to listen to them. So it is the right mindfulness that you must have. Then only you can succeed to maintain that relation. That only Buddha said in his preaching. Next we are coming to Upanishad at this point of time, before we are going to Jainism. Upanishad, actually in this point of time, many Brahmins, they found that whatever it is given in Veda is not easily understandable. So they started working on that. Many of them, they wrote their own opinion, they wrote their own philosophical ideas, and that those all were in a form of a book that is called Upanishad. It is not written by anyone, any particular one. As we can say that Valmiki has written Ramayana, we cannot say that Upanishad is written by one particular person. But this is the time when in Upanishad we have seen that that many questions that came that is, the philosophical level is too high for the common people to understand. They were not meant for common people. Though Upanishad also came by the time when Buddhism or Jainism that came to India, that took birth, but at the same time Upanishad was not meant for common people to understand. And Upanishad was not removing the caste system. Upanishad was not out of something that Hinduism was not following at that point of time. It emphasized on philosophy of Hinduism to make people, those who can understand, make them to understand that what is our Hindu culture and all. But it described that it is Atman, individual soul, and how they can work on them doing all those salvation to get moksha. So they believed that ultimately both Atma and the Brahman, they were the one. Now at the end they again came to a point where the caste system exists, where the language is Sanskrit. It was not understandable by common people. Many of their ideas was recorded, these all they approaching, and Upanishad is actually when the guru is teaching their students, literally it means that near, it is coming near to the, sitting nearby someone. So the guru is sitting and preaching, and all the disciples, that students, they are learning it. This is this is the way of the teacher student relation that is given in that is actually the conversation is recorded in Upanishad by many of the sages. Here also we have seen in Upanishad that it was a completely male dominated society. You know, this was the time when some few women only, in their own interest, they started learning Vedas, and one of them was they started learning Vedas, but they were never accepted. One of them was a Gargi. She learnt Vedas, but she was not allowed to compete with her male partner, male competitor, as they found that this lady she has more knowledge than the male dominated, the male priest, whoever on the other side. The same another one we have seen, that the Jabala, Jabala was a lady of she was a dashi at that point of time, a slave, and Shatyakam, her son Satyakam was known by his mother's name Jabala. This was these few very rare exceptions also we found at the time of Upanishad, but mostly it was a completely male dominated society, social system, educational system, where women and the lower caste people were never ever allowed even to learn the religious or religion properly, or to learn even the Sanskrit. Here in this point of time we have seen that naturally the common people, they find more resemblance with their life and the new ideas that is coming. Another new idea is Jainism. Jainism, the word Jina came from by the actual meaning of the word is conqueror, who conquered his desire. Again, when we are discussing about Jainism, you will find lots of similarities between Buddhism and Jainism. The most famous thinker of Jainas were Bardhaman Mahavira. There are also other thinkers, total 24 Tirthankaras, they named that, those who are the preachers of Jainism, 24 Tirthankaras were there, and it was almost 2500 years ago. Again, Bardhaman Mahavira, he was from a Satria clan. He was married, he has one daughter, but again he also left his family and his friends in search of truth, that how people can live peacefully without any desire, and they must not be squeezed by any of the religious practices, how it was happening day by day. He taught simple doctrine, men and women, whoever wants to know the truth, they have to leave home. They have to leave the home and they have to live a life where there is no desire in their life. Even he preached to leave clothes. He was completely above of all physical or mental desire, all the earthly desire in the world. He said that all beings, they long to live. So we don't have any right to kill anyone, to destroy any of the animal. Again, it is, we can find that the sacrifices he is against of that. That went to the extent that he said even when doing agriculture, when performing agriculture, maybe we are killing many of the small insects and other living creatures. So that also we need to stop, we have to stop. So mostly Jainism was accepted by traders as they found it is easy to apply in their life. Now, ordinary people could understand the teachings of Mahavira and his followers because they used Prakrit language to preach their religion. It was easy for people to understand and it was easy to question them also. Whatever they have their doubt, they were ready, they were most welcome to question. So, he has given right knowledge, three major things that also if you see, we have the Four Noble Truths, it is some way we have resembles here also. Right path, you have to follow the right way to get your whatever your destiny, you have to follow the right path, you have to keep the right knowledge, you must not be misled by someone that by doing something wrong you can get something. That there must be right knowledge and right conduct, that how you are behaving to the people, that is most important in Jainism. Right conduct, to follow that, what will be the right conduct, how to behave. For that, he has given 5 great vows that you have to do, that not to injure any life, not to lie, not to steal, not to acquire any property, and not to lead immoral life. So, every way he asks people to come out of the earthly desire, wherever it is, however it is. He asks them to come out. The followers of Mahavira were known as Jains. They had to live a very simple life. They cannot possess any of the thing that is not, they don't need, that is extra for them. They cannot keep them with them. They cannot keep them. Especially when it is given them, it was asked them that they cannot steal, not to steal anything. So they were absolutely honest. They have to follow that if they are the Jains, and they have to give up everything, including their clothes. What was the real idea of Jainism? Now, it was a little, it was the common people, the common social people, they found it a little difficult to leave home all the time, or to just leave their clothes, all the desires. It was not easily possible for people. So, it was mainly supported by the traders. Farmers, they find it very difficult because Jainism implement life in everywhere. So, when they are tilling their land, it was really tough for them to maintain the teaching of Jainism, because maybe at that point of time they are killing some of them. Even tilling land also as per Jainism, that is not appropriate, that is not accurate. So, whatever it is naturally they are getting, they are asked to get them only, which was not that easily possible to get. This is over the 100 of years, Jainism spread different parts of our country, mostly in the North India, Gujarat, in the South, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. The teachings of Mahavira and his followers were transmitted orally for several centuries, and then now it is they are written down in the form of which they are presently available at a place called Vallabi, that is available, that is in Gujarat, it is that also was written almost 1500 years ago. Now, if we see both these religion, we have seen few similarities. Both of them, they were preached in Prakrit or local language or Magdi. In Magad, the local language was Magadhi. So, their local language, the teachers, they started preaching common people in their local language that everyone can understand. Both the religions actually was meant for common people, not for any king, not for any ruler that they need to follow it or they need to do that expensive rituals. It was meant for common people with their problem, with their solution. Easy to understand and follow. It was very easy for all. No complex rituals anymore. No caste system. Here, whenever they follow Buddhism, everyone is same. They follow Jainism, everyone is same. There is no higher or lower grade in the social pyramid. Both of this, Jainism and Buddhism, they introduce Sangha and monasteries. Now we will be discussing what are Sangha and what are monasteries. They both of them, they said people to come out of their desire and they asked them to live in a place where everyone is equal. Now the people, those who are coming out from their family life, they need a place to stay, right? You can say it one type of ashramas. So people, they all gathered together and they started staying together in a form of a sangha. It is an association where many of the people of same idea, they started staying there. Now Buddhist Sangha, we have seen rules that was also implemented, that how they have to live, what are the strict discipline they have to follow. That also was written form in the book called Vinayaka Pitaka. In the Buddhist monks, how they have to live their life in the Sangha, that everything was written. Many of the Sanghas we can see that this time it was supported by renowned rulers at that point of time. It was supported by the kings, because even many kings, they also started following Buddhism, and they found it is a generous work on their side to support this monk, because they are giving a good support to the social system. And these monks, they are supposed to go for begging for their living. They need to ask them, so they were called as bhikshuni. The word actually, the meaning is bhikkhuk or bhikshuni, that means the beggar. And both male female, they were accepted. Once they are in the sangha, whatever their family background, from which caste they are, everything was just wiped out, and they are just human beings who are anyway to devote their life to serve people, to serve mankind. That was the main idea of building these sanghas. There are no quarrels, there are no fight for property. It is a peaceful life, which was actually giving, you can say, an example to the society that how to live life peacefully. On the other side, we have seen that monasteries, actually these Sangha, Buddhist monks, they started moving from one place to another place to preach their Buddha sermons and the teaching of Buddhas. So they need one place where they can stay. So they made some Buddhist temples, they are called as monasteries. Even the Jainism, for Jains also. So they are usually huge structures. Many of the time it was supported, it was built by the local ruler or the king who is responsible to look after the place. They supported to make those monasteries, and the Buddhist monk from one place to another place, when they are traveling, they are staying in those monasteries. They can live their life, the life they actually they supposed to live in Sangha. As per Vinayaka Pitaka, that was a place for Buddhist monks or the Jainist monks to stay. Mostly the Jains, they never, they have their place mostly in the nature. They love to be in the nature, but for Buddhist monks we have seen that many of the major cities, they have some of the monasteries where Buddhist monks, they used to come, stay and preach sermon of Bhagavan Buddha. This is the point of time when we have seen that not only the king but the rich merchants and the traders also supported both the religion. Though we have find that mostly the traders, they supported Jainism, but we have many traders were there, they generously they used to donate for both the religion, to by maybe sometimes donating their land, donating their property, donating money, anyway they supported to build those monasteries, how they can be there. And so Buddhism spread in many parts, and we have seen not only in India, later we have seen that the kings, they supported Buddhism in a way that Buddhism even spread outside of India. Though it has a birth in India, it spread out outside of India. That was the, we can say, the great factor about Buddhism. Here in Hindu societies, we have seen that there are 4 ashramas. The ashramas, actually the life, they divided their life into 4 major part, which is really very much helpful even today. We feel that even today, as per people, they can learn, they can grow, they achieve their maturity. The people, they divided ashramas. This time ashramas was very much active in the society. Ashramas, the first step, first 25 years, they said it is brahmacharya. That is the time when people can learn. They can go to Guru's ashram, they can go to school, they can learn something, because this is the time when people, the human brain is ready to accept, ready to learn anything new, and it is easy for them to learn. They even need to learn how to behave in the society. They need to learn the professional attitude also, what they must achieve in the society. 25 to 50 years, it was said at Garhastha ashram, that is the time when they must get married and they must behave as a responsible citizen of the particular city or country or wherever they are residing, and they take some of the professional responsibility also to feed their family, take care of their parents and all. From the age to from 50 to 75, it was known as Banprastha. Most of the time, these age people, though they are part of the society, society is taking their knowledge, their wisdom, whatever they attain, they learn throughout their life. People started asking their opinion, they are sharing their wisdom. But at the same time, now they are leaving the worldly desire, and they are living in, they are attaining the way they can get salvation or moksha. The last part, many of the places in Ramayana, Mahabharata, we have seen that 75 to 100 people, usually they leave their ashramas, leave their families, and they left for nature, somewhere in the forest sometimes, chanting God's name, and they devote their life being a sannyasi. Women, most of the time, they don't have their own choice to follow these ashrama. They were not allowed. It was completely meant for the male upper caste of the society. Women, they have to follow what their male partner are following, which ashrama their male partner are following. They also have to follow this. So this is as a whole the social system in 6th century BC at that point of time, birth of new 2 ideas which changed the outlook of human being, how to accept religion and how to modify their life with religion.